Hey guys, Kev here, and I'm going to do my full review on the Liong Mah Field Duty. So this is the original Field Duty knife here. This was loaned into me by a viewer, Brian, a really cool dude, just sent me the knives to check out. No Instagram or anything he wanted me to give out, so really cool of him to do that. This is a right-handed frame lock. This is the full titanium version. It does come in a bolster lock variant with carbon fiber scales and titanium. That is the version that Kyle has, D2M Knives and Gear. You can always check that out over on his channel. I think Jake Bearded Gear is reviewing it right now. So yeah, this is an interesting knife. And it does not come in a lefty variation as far as I know. This clip does reverse apparently. I have been told by some people that it doesn't exactly secure down to where it doesn't like move back and forth. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I haven't tried it. Brian said he never flipped it just because it's a right-handed knife. Why not just leave it on the right side? And I've been carrying it in my back left pocket. Although I wouldn't mind carrying this in my front left because it has a hole for deployment, no stud or flipper or anything to catch, so no issue there. But yeah, let's get started on this guy. Aesthetically, this is a cool knife. It's a rather large knife, 3.75-inch blade, I believe. You have just full plain titanium. You have M390 steel on this sucker. There's Liong Mah Designs logo. I'm not going to get into any of the Liong Mah stuff going on. Honestly, over it and don't really care. So, yeah. So aesthetically, I think closed, it looks really nice. Really good looking knife. That hole, deployment hole looks really good. Tapers down here into the handle, which looks cool. You know, one thing I don't like maybe is the little screw at the end there for the clip. You know, it's a right-handed knife. Might as well just make it right-handed. I know that sounds weird coming from me, but he does make lefty knives, so you could just make a lefty version of it or just kind of forget about it. So I sort of appreciate it being a lefty or like a reversible clip. But it may have been better to just stick with a right-handed clip, pop it right into the frame there. So yeah, when it's open, really, really good looking knife. Spear point blade here, again, 3.75 inches. I love this little hump right here. Reverse type ramp with this razorback jimping. Really, really good. You have the choil up here. That'll take us into ergos. Very neutral in this back area and comfortable. And then you can choke up into this generous finger choil and use that razorback jimping. You have very good control, very solid in ergonomics, very well executed. The action is phenomenal. Has a very good reverse flick. Very, very good detent from Riot. If I haven't mentioned, it's a Riot made. A little harder to do the thumb flick without some wrist because of the shape of that hole. I don't believe you can, nope, you can't front flip it, but this is usually all I need. And you can see there, excuse me, it does work left-handed as long as I'm low enough down. If I start trying to do it up here, I get into trouble. That time it went off. That time it fired out, but like right now I can't get it out. So it's just a matter of placement in terms of that lock bar pressure. So if you have big old giant meat hooks and you're left-handed, this may not be the best option. But if you have normal size, even large size hands, as long as you're down here in a normal position, flicks out perfectly fine. Closing action is pretty damn good. If I took this apart, cleaned it, oiled it, it would probably be dropped shut. I know Kyle's is, and I think that's a good example because his was new. This obviously has been used. You can see the tape gunk and stuff on there from Brian. I did not even clean that off. I just went ahead and carried it and used it as is. Edge is pretty good. It definitely needs a tune-up for sure. But I'm not a shopina, so I wasn't going to mess with it. The M390 held up pretty damn well. So definitely still cuts very well. And you could tell he uses it as an EDC knife, and I really like that. So there you go. Cutting is good. Carry, I did not have any issues with this clip. Has the little ceramic ball in there. Good retention, in and out of pocket like a dream. As stated before, I carried it in my back left. It is dead center, by the way, right in that little pocket. Really love that touch. Seeing that a lot lately. So yeah, I think it's a good knife. But let me finish up here. We did carry sounds. Good lockup sound. Good ting on the close. Not quite as good as that KUF version 2 I reviewed earlier today. But it is very satisfying. This I'll give a 6. And just to do a comparison, here is the Liong Mah Field Duty EDC. This is the lefty version, but you can definitely see the size comparison there. This is about, what, 3 1/4 inch on the blade, 3 1/2 inch blade, 3 1/4 inch blade edge, I should call it. And I believe this is a 4-inch blade from here to the tip. But then the actual cutting edge maybe is 3.75, something like that. So you could tell it's not a very small knife. It's relatively fucking huge. And that's fine. I really, really like this Field Duty. I contemplated selling it earlier today. The Field Duty EDC, this isn't mine. But then every time I pick it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like it. But I have the KUF version 3, and it's just kind of hard to have both and carry them both, especially when I have the F5.5s and I have the Slim Mini, and I have a lot of hole for deployment knives that I love, so it's hard to get things in pocket. But anyway, I love the Field Duty as a model, as a design. I just think it's a very functional, very good looking, yeah, it's just a really nice EDC knife, you know. I personally prefer the 3.25, 3.5 inch size, that other one I have. But I like the full tie build here. It gives a little more weight to it, a little more, I don't know, maybe feel for your money. Carbon fiber, especially that monoblock, because it's a big chunk of it. It's milled out, can feel a little bit plasticky. Again, I say that. It doesn't feel, it's not cheap, it's not plastic, but it has that feel, sort of. It's hard to explain. So I can definitely see why the full titanium versions of these would be appealing to some people. Fit and finish on here is very, very good. Again, not quite the level of that KUF version 2. That thing had just a lot of small details that are really well done, chamfered perfectly, all that stuff. On this one, you know, that clip with the screw at the end kind of throws things off for me. That backspacer slash, I guess, not backspacer, but this jimping over here with this lanyard post, just not quite as clean and crisp as this knife right here. This is that KUF version 2. You just see how there's no jimping back here. It just goes into these backspacers that kind of sit separate, so you have that lanyard post. The clip is sitting into the scale. It's very flush back here. Every corner and piece is rounded to perfection and chamfered. So well done. And then you just have that damn Teletubby. And this guy's very well done as well. It's just not quite to that level, in my opinion. But very, very good. Really good knife. I do believe these run like $450. That's my guess. Maybe $400 for this one and $450 for that carbon lock bolster, carbon fiber bolster lock version. I'm not sure on that, but definitely pricey knives, so not a value in any way. I don't think the price is ridiculous considering what you get. but it's bordering on being too much, but not quite there. So I would definitely buy it, in my opinion. I've had them all and felt them all at this point, and I do think for my personal collection and tastes, I am more in the 3.5 inch range. I'm more in this range with this knife and the Field Duty EDC I just showed you, along with the Koof version 3, which I do wish they had that Koof. Sorry, I'm going to show a lot of Liong Mahs real quick. Let's do it. All right, so this right here is the perfect size for me when it comes to his knives. I can have a full grip back here, right, comfortably, and then I have this choke up point, and it just feels really good. I have control of the whole length of this blade. I just feel really comfortable with this size of knife in my hand, and that makes sense because it's very bug out sized, right? And that's a Goldilocks size for a lot of people. Then you get into the Koof version 2, which is similar. So this is basically the same size, maybe slightly bigger, but I mean, we're talking about millimeters or whatever you was, it's not that big of a difference, and I like this size of knife, right? But I really love this little guy. This is the Koof 3.0. And I think what I love about it is the fact that it's so small and pocketable. Sorry, that was me. And yet I get a full grip on it, even with a large size glove hand. I don't know. It just is nice. But then I carry, and I go back and forth, and it's just, you get a little more girth on here. Not that it's like a lot of girth, but more than this, right? But because of that, this one's hard. You cannot thumb flick it. I can't. And sometimes I get caught up on the Spidey flick, but usually I don't. It's more just because I'm on camera. And it's just so thin and small and pocketable. And then when I need something a little bigger, I have this guy. So I just don't need anything this huge. And that's exactly how I felt about the Koof 4.0. So it's just a little bit too big for me. Now, this one is much more manageable. This one I would carry if I had a carbon fiber version, because this is a little heavy, but not too heavy or anything. I would carry it if I had that carbon fiber variant, assuming it's a little bit lighter. The size is not ridiculous. Like the 4.0 is just ridiculous, the KUF 4.0, for me, personally. Like Kyle has giant meat hooks, so he loves this knife, and he loves the Koof 4.0. So it's just a matter of your hand size. But that's what I love about Liong Mah. I mean, he's got an option for everyone, right? So pick your style. Do you prefer a sheep's footy type blade? Because then you can get a 3-inch, a 3.5-inch, or a 4-inch in that. Or do you prefer sorry, I'm really struggling with these, a spear point, drop point type look, because then you could choose 3.25-inch cutting edge or 3.75-inch cutting edge. It's cool to me that he offers that. So I definitely want, the way I'm going to put this recommendation, and this is what I should have said about the Koof, at least I don't know what I said in that review, but choose your design. So pick your design from Liong that you like, and then pick your size knife. And if you're somebody who likes different size knives, okay, then you can do what I do. I have this 3-inch knife and this 3.25, 3.5-inch knife. So you could, put these together and have a smaller and a larger. You could do different variations, but I guess most people are probably going to have one, right? They're not going to spend a fortune on all these knives because they're $400, $350, $400, right? So pick the design and the size that fits you best, and I can recommend them all. They're all very well built knives. They're all very quality built knives. They're built by Riot. They all have great action, ergos, all that stuff. So it really just comes down to you, your preferences, and then you fit the knife to it. So that's it, guys. Sorry for the ramble there at the end. But really cool knife. Really glad I got to check these out from Brian. I really appreciate it, man. This has been the Liong Mah Field Duty in full titanium and M390. And again, this is the righty version. It only comes in righty. So if you're left-handed, another consideration there. Pick a knife that comes lefty unless you just don't care, right? So that is the Liong Mah Field Duty. I love you all so much. I appreciate you listening to me rant, rave, not make any sense. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And I will catch you later.